Yes, welcome back to our interview section. As always, we sit down with different people and we go to every corner in the fashion industry. Today we are at Izubaa by Elodie Fromenteau, one of the greatest. I mean, she has been really trending in every corner in the fashion industry in Rwanda. If you really follow the fashion industry, you probably have seen her somewhere and on Instagram, and also her collection. She just launched her new collection. That's why we are here to talk to her and get to know what was the inspiration about her latest collections. For the second time, we are glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So you can start by telling us about yourself, even though you have been on Fashion Eye for back then, like last year, but we're having you back, which is so great. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Elodie Fromenteau. I'm the founder and creative director of Izubaa. I am half French, half Rwandese, and it's about a year and a half now that I started the brand here in Rwanda.
As you just said, you moved in Rwanda and you started your fashion brand in Rwanda. So take us through the journey of creating your fashion house, creating Izubaa, and tell us even the name Izubaa, because it's Kashika. Okay, Izubaa. Tell us a little bit about the brand and what does the brand represent?
Okay, so I guess I was living in London before. I was a fashion stylist and art director, freelancing back in London. Being mixed race, I grew up in France, and I never truly knew like my Rwandan culture. So Izubaa started, by me deciding to go back to Africa and Rwanda, and obviously my roots, to reconnect with my roots, my family, my culture. So I came here, that was the idea was just about that really. Like I was happy as a fashion stylist, and little that I knew, 6 months later, a friend of mine challenged me to actually start my own collection for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week Kigali back in 2021. So, I accepted the challenge, and little that I knew, I became a designer, and I started my own fashion brand called Izubaa. So Izubaa is literally, like when I think of Izubaa, meaning the sun, obviously for those who don't speak the language, it's literally about my journey going back to Africa, going back to the culture. It's that choice, following the sun. And
so you talked about it. You said you followed the sun.
Yes.
Which we saw your first collection that you literally launched at the
Ghana.
Rwanda. No, the first one.
The first one was Ghana.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, Ghana. Then you came back in Rwanda for the Rwanda Fashion Week.
Yes.
So tell us about the collection. What was the inspiration behind that collection that we saw before we go to the new one? Tell us a little bit about the last collection.
Okay.
And then what was the inspiration? Because I saw the collection, we talked before.
Yeah.
And it was more Izubaa. You can actually see the Izubaa and what it represented. Tell us on your part, what was the inspiration and how did it come about?
So the first collection was called Journey to Africa. Once again, like he kind of explained my journey back here, right? I think hence the colors, I was literally, like, when you come from Europe and you arrived, in such a beautiful country and continent in general, like you see colors everywhere. I've always been like a color person, and I'm very like sensitive to, my surroundings. So I go to the market and I see all the spices, the foods, and so I think this first collection literally embodies, me arriving on here, like, and just being inspired by everything that I'm surrounded by. I started like this, and then the second collection, it was the second collection that I showcased at Rwanda Fashion Week.
Now you have 3 collections.
That's my third collection.
Oh,
yeah. The second collection was called Sunday Best. It has to do more with like, Sunday best, like choosing your best outfit for Sundays. Like it's kind of like it has a bit of like spiritual meaning to it, but also Izubaa as like you keep your favorite outfit for that special day, and that's the kind of clothes that I want to design for my people. So that's the last collections.
I want you to go back to the roots. You said you were a stylist before you became a fashion designer.
Yeah.
Why did you transition? Why did you go from a stylist now to a fashion designer? Because was it something you really wanted, or did it happen by accident? So tell us, why did you have to make that transition?
I feel like God kind of like was like, okay, Elodie, this is what you have to do, So I mean, I love being a stylist. I'm still a fashion stylist, and I think when you look at the way I create collections, you know, the way I do things, you know, my eye is such like on a style. Like I think about the whole look. I don't think about just pieces and garments, you know. So yeah, I like I said, I came here and I didn't plan to become a designer. When people were asking me, when are you going to become a designer? As a stylist, I was like, that's not my dream. Or if I become one, that would be like in 15 years, you know. Because I've never also studied design, by the way, you know. So it was literally being in the country. Like I feel like I was at the right place at the right time, and having that friend who kind of like, he planted the seed. He literally planted the seed in my mind. Izubaa seed was there, and I was like, damn, like, I love it. I'm gonna try it and see how, you know, how people react to it and see how I feel about it. And now I'm not turning back. Like I love it so much.
Do you do now both? Like, do you do both styling and fashion designing?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I keep on doing both. You know, whether I'm styling my own brand, or I'm styling like other brand. Like, you know, I really enjoy supporting.
You styled one of the huge stars in Rwanda.
Yes.
Bruce Melody in his campaign of Primos.
Yeah.
Sandrine, I think. You kind of seeing yourself on a billboard out there, like styling all these amazing and huge people, like in the industry, and also putting yourself out there to those kind, because we are still growing, the fashion industry is still growing.
Yeah.
Not these huge superstars, the singers are really invested. But how was it? Take us through the journey of working with them. How was it, and how did you feel even seeing yourself out there on billboards?
It was amazing, obviously. You know, I was contacted by Illum Studio, who was like producing the whole shoot with like another, you know, company from South Africa. So it was incredible production, you know, really professional. I loved it. Obviously, I loved it. I styled the whole. It was about 6 or 7 models, I think. It was a 2-day shoot. Yeah, I really enjoyed. It was kind of like, it's a little bit. It can be stressful because I've never met Bruce Melody, and I knew it was big, but I didn't know how big it was. You know, he's actually the #1 recording artist at the moment.
Yes.
So yeah, like his presence is quite huge, but he's a cool guy. You know, it's funny because people will say, like, when people will call like Elodie, both of us would be like that, Elodie, Melody, you know. Yeah. But like, I enjoyed, and you know, he gave me his number as well at the end. I think he liked the styling, and yeah, it was challenging. Don't get me wrong, by the way. This month of August last year, it was very challenging because it was a lot of like style. You know, it was about 18 styles that I had to pull up, and we had fittings. The manager was here, so they were quite strict with whatever he had to wear. You know me, I'm a bit of a different, you know, because here can be like a little bit more commercial, and I like to bring a bit of edge to that commercial.
Yes.
I like to bring something different.
Because you can see the way the commercial was, there was so many different, you can see the era of like the 90s.
The vintage,
yeah, we can't saw that.
Yeah.
So are you, because you collaborated with different people during that campaign. So tell me, what do you think about the collaboration in the industry, in the fashion industry? Because you worked with so many people during the campaign, even in your daily styling world, because you worked with Malaika,
yes,
Mirelle Chanel.
Yes.
So tell me, what does collaboration mean to you? Like collaborating with different designers in Rwanda?
Collaboration is literally my favorite thing to do. Like one of my favorite thing to do, because you know, like when you meet an artist, you know, a person in general, but like when they create something and you also bring your, like, it's basically two creative minds, you know, coming together and creating something that I've never been seen before. So I think it's you grow as an artist. You know, you exchange ideas, you create something. It's art. It's challenging, but yeah, it's rewarding at the end.
So now that we are here, so tell us
Yes.
about this new collection. You launched it in Paris.
I did.
And then please tell us if you're seeing it in Rwanda, because you can't be launching things abroad.
Of course. So first of all, I was very, blessed to be one of the designers to be selected to go and showcase this new collection in Paris. So that was the RAI, Rwanda Arts Initiatives, who called me, and basically they were doing a partnership with Capital, based in Paris, who basically showcasing African capitals each year. And this year was Kigali, right? So it was musicians, theaters, actors, singers and designers. And Izubaa was one of them. So yeah, it was such a special moment for me as a French, Franco-Rwandese, designer who started her brand in Rwanda, going back to France where I grew up. It's like my two countries coming together, and it was very special. I felt. As soon as they called me and they told me, I was like, damn, that's a big thing.
Oh wow, that was such a great experience for you launching your collection in Paris. So tell us about the inspiration behind the outfit, the inspiration behind the whole collection. We'll talk about that later on every piece and taking a look at every piece. So tell us, what was the inspiration and the name of the collection, and go in details. What was that?
So this new collection is called Ndabaga. Ndabaga was one of our, biggest heroines back in the 18th century. She's a Rwandan warrior that worked for the king's army and that later on got married to the kings. Yes. So when I read about Ndabaga's story, I got so drawn and sort of connected to that story, and I was like this is incredible. I have to do something about it. I was so inspired by it. So basically this is the name of the new collection, and in this collection I'm literally diving into the culture. So I've bought many books, right? I've read, many stories, and I've gone through as well, because obviously the Imigongo is such a big patterns here, it's like the patterns of Rwanda. However, what I discovered is there's so many patterns here, a lot of different motifs. So I bought this book and I went through all the motifs, that are from Rwanda, and I just got inspired by some of them. And what I did is I fused. You're gonna see in the outfits later, but I did a lot of So for the first time, I designed my own prints now. So I don't work with Kitenge anymore. Wow. So everything you see around has been designed by me, and I've also collaborated with graphic designers, artists here.
Oh, that's a great thing.
It's so Rwandan. This collection is 100% Rwanda, in so many ways. So it's a fusion of motifs, and also, in this collection I feel it's not as loud as,
the typical Izubaa.
Exactly, typical Izubaa. However, my whole focus is on those prints. And now basically Izubaa is growing, and I feel more mature as a designer. And for example, now actually we have two lines. So you have a haute couture line that you see right behind.
Yes.
So for this line, we brought Italian wool from Dubai. Yes. I worked with a friend of mine, who is a textile expert for Izubaa. So is Italian wool, and then we also have a prêt-à-porter line, which has denims, cargo pants. Something a little bit younger and fresher. There's a lot of growth, I think, in this collection.
What are you most proud of in your journey, as a fashion designer? 3 collections now out, and incredible collection. I can be the taste of that. So tell us, what are you most proud of in this journey?
I have to pick something. It's hard to pick something, honestly. I love the journey. When I think about it, when I talk about it, sometimes because it's not always easy. Obviously, it's very challenging. You gotta sell, you gotta sustain the business. It's still a small business. In a small country in Africa. So there's it's not always roses and stuff. But however, when I think about the whole journey from the beginning, from like showcasing in Ghana, opening the show as my first collection ever, they asked me to open the show. That was crazy. Coming back here, doing Rwanda Fashion Week, doing Showgam, again opening the show with Alina Mick, and probably one of the biggest achievements as
that was
is to sell, is to have sold the Agaseche bag to the Duchess.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, of Connor, who is now the Queen of England, officially.
How was that feeling, selling your Agaseche bag to the Queen?
I can't believe it. I have goosebumps still. Like, it's just, it's not something that you think of, Like meeting them, talking to them first, and then, receiving a call the day after saying she wants to see your collection. And then, she's like so interested in your bag, and she wanted to buy more. In fact, I need to sell more in the, in the palace.
Are you planning to make more Agaseche bags? Because you can see it's people's favorite.
Of course. There's more in this new collection. Of course. Yeah. There's like cross bags now, like mini bags, Agaseche that you wear like that crossed, and then you have like bigger that I think have been like more thought about, so it's more luxurious in a way. So yeah, this and the billboard that we talk about, that was also huge to see like Izubaa on a massive billboard all over the country. Paris, yeah.
As I told our viewers, we're going to be seeing more of every piece in the collection in Ndabaga. So let's take a short break and we'll be right back. You chose some few outfits during this collection, as we are seeing our first outfits in front of us. So tell us a little bit about this new collection, this piece that we're seeing in front of us.
So this suit that I've chosen, that you see on Isimbi, is one of the key pieces this season. So it's actually the first print that I've designed with an artist here. And the whole idea is I've always been drawn to zebra, right? Zebra is a classic print, everybody knows it, everybody has seen it around. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to do something different, right? So I fused the zebra pattern with a pattern called the Ibaba. Right, Ibaba in Kinyarwanda, it means wings. Ibaba, exactly. So in this little book that you see here, maybe I shouldn't show it because that's my secret. No, that's okay. So I've done lots of researches, as I said before, and I found this pattern, the Ibaba, and I was so drawn to it. Also the idea of like freedom and birds. I feel like it goes so well with, the whole concept of Izubaa. So I basically fused zebra and the Ibaba, and I called it Zebraba. Exactly. But however, like it's a little bit more cinched on the waist, compared to the other suit that I've made, and the trousers have like this little flare at the end. So I'm going a little bit in the 70s, slightly, but making it modern.
Agaseche bag.
Yes. Yeah, so the idea is to have like, this cute little Agaseche bag, have it like crossed way, It's nice to go out, it's nice even on daytime. Obviously, you can't put so much in it, but I think it's a statement piece that shows the culture. And you can put your business cards, you can put your keys, your lipstick.
It's like the trend.
Right? Thank you. It's the essentials. I want to see every girl in town rocking those pieces. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this second piece of in Ndabaga collection. So tell us, what are we seeing?
Okay, so what you have here is actually the same fabric, which is the Italian wool in beige, in cream beige. But this time we have done the same print, the Zebraba, but in white. So to give it like a kind of like a fresher look. And somehow I feel like it looks like it's a different fabric, but it's not, it's the same fabric. So it's still part of our haute couture line. And it's a mini skirt, right? It's a mini skirt.
Oh, I love the cut.
Thank you.
It's so great.
It's a mini skirt that we have done it's a classic mini skirt. We have, added like a little edge to it with that little. So basically, like I said, I also wanted to do like a ready-to-wear line, and for the first time, we have implemented some T-shirts, right? So the whole idea on, you know, behind those t-shirts is I got inspired from the old stamps, right? Back, I don't even know what year it is, like 1930s maybe, 1940s. And the stamp says République Rwandaise, and I just love the idea of that, you know. So on the t-shirts we have designed, okay, because Ndabaga doesn't have a face. Yes. Does she? Do you know how she looks like?
We don't know.
We don't know, nobody knows. So me and my friend, a graphic designer called Ben, we try to like give her like an identity and, you know, a face. So yes, in this outfit, this is part of our ready-to-wear collection. I wanted to give like a younger, fresher kind of vibe, you know, to my people. And, you know, the whole idea of obviously Ndabaga being a warrior is really well, you know, shown, I believe, in this outfit. So you have the cargo pants, you know, posh bomb cargo pants that has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, big pockets. The zebra bar again, but this time is on like a sort of like utilitarian fabric, you know. So it gives like that rough kind of edge. It's, you know, low waist, it's big. Yeah, and then because it has like this very masculine and like, you know, kind of vibes, I wanted to give like a more sexy, you know, something on the top. So you have the bustier inspired mesh top that is laced at the back, is dark green to match the trousers obviously, and it has a bit of see-through because I want it to be sexy.
So where could a person wear this?
I mean, you know, I think this is pretty easy to wear. This can be rocked everywhere. You can put like trainers with it. You can put high heels and make it like a little bit more, you know, sophisticated to go out. Yeah, it's. I think it's a really cool outfit.
Well, and that's it from our show today. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the whole show. As always, my name is Christian Zoramba, bringing to you the best of the best in the fashion industry. So see you right next time.